intubated patient.
Okay, we have Baby Jade here. She's going to be helping us out with infant CPR today. So here's the scenario. Baby Jade is in her crib. We come in for, say, a late night feeding, and Baby Jade doesn't look like she's moving or breathing, and maybe she's slightly blue colored. So the first thing we're going to do is assess Baby Jade like we would adults. So we would call out to her, Baby Jade, Baby Jade, and at the same time, tap on her foot. If we don't get a response there, what we're gonna do, lower our head over Baby Jade's face, look straight down the body line. We're looking for a rise and fall of the chest. We're hoping to feel breath on our cheek. And at the same time, we're gonna check the brachial pulse, which is located right there in that separation between the forearm and the bicep. So we're gonna check about right here. Now, if we don't have a pulse and we don't feel the breathing or see the rise and fall of the chest, we're still going to follow the same steps as adult CPR. If somebody's around, you call 911. If no one's around, we're going to whip out our phone, get 911 on the phone, put it on speaker so we can hear and continue to work. Once we have established that Baby Jade doesn't have a pulse and she's not breathing, we're going to jump right into compressions. Now, compressions for infants is going to be a little bit different than compressions for adults or adolescents. Instead of using the two-hand technique we use for adults or the one-hand technique we use for adolescents, we're going to use 2 fingers. We're going to go about using those 2 fingers in the same way though. We're going to find the nipple line, go right below that, put those 2 fingers there, and we're going to give 30 fast and firm compressions, about 1.5 inches of depth for each compression at a rate of 100 to 120 beats a minute. So that's going to look like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 until we get to 30. Once we get to 30 compressions, we're going to give 2 rescue breaths. So unlike the adults where we're going to use the chin lift, head tilt method, we're going to use just a little bit of effort to get the baby's head into position, almost like they're sniffing the air. Once their head is slightly tilted, we're going to take our mouth and place it over the baby's nose and mouth, creating a good seal. So we're going to go down. We can look and see the rise and fall of the chest with each breath. If we see that, we know we're giving good breaths. If we don't see it, we may need to readjust the head a little bit. Come back over, create a seal over the mouth and nose. And if we see the chest rise that time, we know we're getting air in. After giving the 2 rescue breaths, we're right back to compressions. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 until we get to 30. We're going to do 3 sets of that, back and forth between compressions and rescue breaths. Then we're going to check the brachial pulse again. Now, the good thing about infant CPR is we can do it on a flat surface like this, but if we do have to move, say that the hospital is closer than waiting on the ambulance to get there, we can lift the baby, carry the baby like this, and continue CPR. If we have another person with us, that person can drive while we continue CPR en route to the hospital. While en route to the hospital, we can get back on our phone, let the 911 operator know that we are going to head to the hospital, that we have an unresponsive infant, and we're going to need emergency personnel waiting for us when we get there. That way that the hospital is already prepared when we arrive and they know exactly what's going on. Performing CPR on an adult can be scary. Performing it on an infant can be even more scary. But if we keep our heads and remember what we learned, we can save a life. Remember, don't panic. It is much better to do something than to do nothing at all. Until next time, you be safe out there. Urban Medic out.